The Yankees have a lot of long-term deals with Aaron Judge, Garrett Cole, Giancarlo Stanton, Anthony Rizzo next year, LeMahieu another 2 years, Carlos Rodon. The Yankees have a lot of long-term contracts. And they have holes. They got to fill third base. I think Torres could be gone after the season, traded. They need a center fielder. They need a starting pitcher, not a massive one, like a 3 or 4. Severino's gone. And they need bullpen. And I left the cliffhanger before. And Carlos Rodon's final season number, 0 innings pitch, 8 runs, 6 hits, no strikeouts, 2 walks, ends the year with a 6.85 ERA. I've always heard that he's not been healthy. Well, then why was he pitching then? Clearly he was healthy if he was pitching. If you look at Carlos Rodon's 3 best years, 1 year with the White Sox was an arbitration year. His next year with the White Sox was a free agent year. His year with the Giants was a free agent year. Why were the Yankees the only team to go after Carlos Rodon? Because teams were very skeptical of him and his injury history, and is he a flash in the pan because he's a free agent pitcher? When I looked at Carlos Rodon this year, it reminded me of a pitcher that I think Yankee fans are going to want to cover their ears for, and that guy is Carl Pavano. I see a lot of Carl Pavano in Rodon with the antics on the field, blowing kisses to the Yankee fans, not being happy. He did not put up the numbers. And if you're the New York Yankees, how are you getting out of these contracts? You can't get out of the Rodon one. You got another 5 years. Now, I know every Yankee fan wants Giancarlo Stanton gone like the Jet fans want Zach Wilson gone. It's not that easy. They're going to have to go the route the Mets did. You want Stanton gone, you're going to have to eat about 85% of that contract. He's got another 4 years left on that deal. They're going to have to eat about 80% of that deal like the Mets did with Scherzer and Verlander and get better players back. And I just don't know if the Yankees are willing to do that. Now, you can't run it back, can you? We're going to do it again. Same team. And then the Yankee fan says, well, the injuries were the problem. This has been the same team for the last 4 or 5 years. The injuries are always the issue.
The Rays had injuries all year. They did fine.
And they also need a catcher. Baltimore's getting better. Tampa's always, as I call them, a scutch, because that's what they are. Toronto is okay. I feel like they never put it together, but also remember, Vladdy didn't have a great year this year. You'd like to think he'll have a bounce back next year. Seattle is maybe getting better. Houston's always a thorn in the side. They just had a lot of issues this year, Houston, with Alvarez hurt, Altuve hurt. Hunter Brown didn't live up to the hype they thought he would, which I'm going to give him another year. And then Texas, who's getting better. The AL Central stinks. I'm not even going to go there. The Yankees right now are probably the 4th best team in that division, behind Toronto, behind Tampa, and behind Baltimore. Baltimore's going to be good for the next 5 to 6 years before they let these guys go and they can't afford to pay them. Jackson Holliday's coming up next year. What do you think, it's going to get better? Speaking of our Met fans, we know the Braves are going to dominate for years. The Phillies are good because they paid their way to be good. But now the Phillies are going to have an interesting dynamic next year because Nola's gone. Who's going to be the other rotation piece for Wheeler? So the Yankees have to figure this out. They're in a stretch where it sounds like Cashman's coming back next year. And it sounds like Boone's coming back next year. And I don't know how you sell that to the fan base without somebody rioting outside Yankee Stadium. Because I think Yankee fans are annoyed because they're seeing the Mets are getting David Stearns, and they're in on Juan Soto, and they're in on Shohei Ohtani. And Yankee fans are going to say, why aren't we doing this? Why are we constantly bringing the same team back every single season? Now, the Yankees are better than the Mets right now because the Mets just tanked. They got rid of everybody. But the Mets built their farm system to a top 10 farm system. The Yankees have one of the worst farm systems in baseball. That's the difference. And the worst thing was Dominguez was doing great. Now Dominguez is out for next year. So it's another hamper. You thought you found your center fielder. He's out next year. So you have to ask yourself, if you're a Yankee fan, how do we get to the level of Baltimore, Tampa, Toronto, Houston, Seattle, Texas? We'll see about Scherzer next year. They're going to get DeGrom back at some point. But I just don't know right now what the future is for the Yankees because they're so locked into these contracts long term. I named like 7 guys they're stuck with. 5 of them they probably would love to get rid of. They'd love to get rid of LeMahieu. They'd love to get rid of Rodon at this point. They'd love to get rid of Stanton. They'd love to not have to bring back Rizzo. These are all guys that they're stuck with right now. They can't get rid of these guys. Anthony Volpe had a season. What did he hit this year? 205?
Yeah, if he gets his on-base percentage up, that'll be the bigger key.
So it's a matter of we don't even know what Anthony Volpe is. And it was good because the young kids came up and they were playing well. Dominguez was one of them. And he's gone next year. So I don't know what the Yankees are going to be next year. I think the Yankees have to have a different philosophy. I don't think Brian Cashman should be back. I don't think Aaron Boone should be back. I'm not going to fault it all on Aaron Boone. This is what Aaron Boone's been given. Constantly, he's over 500 as a manager every season. But why is Brian Cashman coming back? Why is he earned the right? Take a page out of what the Mets did. Eat money, trade off guys, get better prospects back.